People always say childhood sweethearts can't compete with fate. I used to think I was the exception because I married mine. Mary and I had known each other forever. She was my first crush, my closest friend, the girl I thought I'd spend my life with. But I was wrong. She never truly loved me, not once, in the final moments of her life. After the accident, she used the last of her strength, not to hold me or call my name, but to press a shard of glass deeper into the wound in my neck. Her voice was trembling, weak, but full of longing. I would give everything just to see Tom again. Then, without hesitation, she turned the glass on herself. When I woke up, disoriented and groggy, the first thing I saw was Mary running straight into Tom's arms, right in front of everyone, just like that. On the way to our divorce, we sat in silence in the back seat. It felt like we were worlds apart. Is divorce really necessary? I asked, though I already knew the answer. Yes, she replied coldly. Tom is back. I've waited too long for this. Then she smiled, a soft, genuine smile, one I hadn't seen since we got married. Suddenly her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, and her expression changed completely. Her hands trembled, her eyes welled up with tears. I instinctively reached for a handkerchief, about to offer it, but before I could, she lunged forward, trying to grab the steering wheel. From the driver, Tom committed suicide. She screamed, "I'll never see him again. It's your fault. Let's die together." The driver panicked and tried to take control, but it was too late. The car slammed into a truck. I remembered the blood, the cold, the feeling of my life slipping away. But what hurt more than anything was her. Even with broken arms, she mustered the strength to push the glass deeper into my neck. Again, then she smiled, calmly, and ended her own life. Tom, I'm coming. Suddenly a voice called out, "Young master, we've arrived at school." I jolted awake, heart pounding, drenched in sweat. Was it all a dream? I looked around, confused. But then I saw her, Mary, alive, running into the school courtyard. I followed her on instinct, my heart torn between hope and horror. Students crowded the classroom entrance, whispering, "Mary's with Tom now? Isn't George her boyfriend?" They're hugging in public, bold. She was clinging tightly to Tom, her face glowing. And when she looked at me, just a flicker of disgust. That's when I realized this wasn't a dream. I had really returned to the past. I walked past them quietly and said, "Class is starting." Everyone fell silent. Found my seat, and my friend David sat beside me. "You okay?" he asked. "She's really with him, huh?" I didn't answer. Right away, I looked at Tom outside the window. He wouldn't even meet my eyes. "I don't like her anymore," I finally said. "So don't bring her up." David blinked in surprise. Everyone knew how obsessed I used to be with Mary. I opened my backpack, still filled with her favorite snacks, and quietly placed them into my deskmate's drawer. I didn't want them anymore. When class ended, Mary returned to her seat. Smacked my desk. "Give me some bread and milk," she said casually. I ignored her. She turned, frowning, trying to pout, acting cute like she used to. But I just looked away. She had Tom now. She won. After class, she went through my bag without asking. When she found nothing, she dug through my desk. "Where are the snacks?" "Haven't eaten yet," she snapped, like I owed her something. Slung my bag over my shoulder and replied coldly, "You didn't eat breakfast? What's that got to do with me?" I pulled the snacks from my deskmate's drawer, stuffed them back in my bag, and walked out. Behind me, she stamped her foot. "Hap, so you've grown a backbone now. Don't think I'll forgive you so easily." That tone, that sense of entitlement. She always acted like I owed her the world, but this time was different. Mary was just the daughter of one of our family's maids. She had no idea how little power she actually had. She just rode on my affection for years. I pulled out my phone and called home. Mom said, "Please clean out Mary's room. Move her to the staff quarters where she belongs. And stop sending her allowance." My mom was stunned, but quickly agreed. She didn't even ask why. Maybe she was afraid I'd change my mind. Looking back, I really was a fool. I had once threatened my own family just to make Mary happy. But now I finally see. Clearly. I'm done being the one who gives everything to someone who only ever gave me pain. Back then, I treated Mary like she was my own daughter. I gave her everything, her own room, covered all her living expenses, even gave her a monthly allowance that was higher than mine. Looking back now, just want to slap myself for being so blind. When I asked our homeroom teacher for my deskmate Lily's address, I didn't hesitate, I rushed straight over. I remembered in my past life that Lily had also gone missing from school for several days. The next time I heard about her was news of her suicide. Lily was always quiet and hardworking. Her grades were good. I never understood why someone who worked so hard would choose to end her life. I passed through a few narrow alleys that reeked of decay before finally finding her home. In front of the crumbling house was a big red word painted across the wall: demolish. I frowned and climbed up the stairs. The higher I went, the heavier the air felt, like sadness was pressing down on me. Then I saw them white mourning couplets pasted on the door. My heart sank. My legs turned to lead. The door was wide open. A dim yellow light glowed inside. I could hear soft weeping echoing through the stillness. Lily. I called out gently. The crying stopped. A slender girl stepped out. Her eyes were swollen red, her face pale and lifeless until she saw me. For a moment, a trace of color returned to her cheeks. How did you find my house? She asked, stunned. I noticed you hadn't come to class, so I came to check on you, I said. She didn't move, didn't invite me in. I took a breath and asked, can I come in?
I brought
you the class notes from the past few days? She hesitated, then slowly stepped aside as I entered. I saw a photo on the dining table, a framed picture of an elderly woman, kind and gentle-looking. Beside it was a bottle that made my stomach drop. I didn't need to read the label to know it was pesticide. Lily. Don't tell me you were thinking of drinking this, I asked, panicking. She tried to hide it, but I grabbed it first. Come on, we need to get to a hospital. She didn't move. Lily, what are you doing? Your grandmother worked so hard to raise you. You think this is what she'd want for you to give up like this? Lily broke down, collapsed to the floor, and sobbed into her hands. I tried. So hard. All I ever wanted was to escape this life. And when it finally felt like there was hope, the demolition contract, the compensation, it all vanished. The developer backed out. My grandma was waiting for that money for her treatment. And when she realized there was no hope left, I was speechless. My heart ached as the pieces started to come together. In this life, it was me who had pressured my father to pull back on the relocation project in this neighborhood because I wanted Mary's family to benefit first. I thought I was doing something good. But because of me, Lily's family was delayed, and when Mary's family got their money, they just called it luck. Not a single word of thanks. They had no idea 2 lives were lost because of it. Lily looked up at me, exhausted. Living is just too hard. Left to hold on to. I didn't stop talking. I pleaded, comforted, encouraged. I don't know what part of it reached her, but something did. I saw it, just a flicker of light return to her eyes. To stop her from doing anything reckless again, I ran downstairs and bought her a phone. I left her every snack I had in my bag. There was nothing to eat in that house. By the time I was done, night had fallen, and then my phone rang. It was Mary, her voice, sharp and mocking, cut through the silence. George, you better get your ass back here right now. As if she were ordering a servant, I took a deep breath and called my father. I nearly forgot I hadn't canceled the demolition of Mary's house yet. Dad sighed. You've grown up. I won't stop you from treating a woman kindly, but don't turn her into someone who thinks she deserves it. When I got home, Mary was sprawled elegantly on the sofa, eating fruit with a fork like royalty. Her mother looked at her with adoration. Mary frowned when she saw me. Your mom threw all my stuff out of my room. Fix it like she was the mistress of the house, but this time I wasn't playing along. I glanced at her and said coldly, if she threw it out, it stays out. A maid's daughter living in the master bedroom this long? She really thought too highly of herself. Mary stared at me, stunned. What? What did you just say? I picked up her half-eaten fruit and tossed it in the trash. She stormed over and slapped me hard across the face. "George, you've gone too far," she cried, waiting for me to comfort her like I used to. Not this time. Mom rushed over, furious, and slapped Mary again and again. "How dare you lay a hand on my son? Who do you think you are?"
Ow.
Mary's face twisted in disbelief. "George, you're just going to let your mother hit me." I gently took my mom's hand. It was red from the slap. "You hurt your hand. Next time you use something easier." Mary's face turned white with rage. She picked up a vase and smashed it. "George." That vase was from the Tang dynasty. It's worth $8 million. Mom looked. At the shattered pieces, her expression tight with heartbreak, Mary smirked. "Tell your mother to apologize, or I'll smash everything in this house." I looked at her like she'd lost her mind and called the police. When they arrived, Mary refused to admit any fault. She acted cold and condescending, even toward the officers. Her mother, Dina, stood frozen, speechless. I turned to her. "You have 15 minutes to pack up and leave. You can't treat me like this. When Mary comes back, she won't." Dina, who once fancied herself my mother-in-law, was dragged out by the butler. Her bags were tossed outside the gate under the moonlight not long after. I got a call from the police station. As soon as I answered, I heard Mary's voice loud and full of disdain. "I'm going to be the future Mrs. George, so you'd better let me go. Otherwise, none of you will get a promotion. I'll make sure of it." She was threatening the officers like she owned the place. The officer on the phone sounded annoyed. "Two, you just want to bail her out? We're not releasing her." "It's insulting. She's just the daughter of a housekeeper who's already been fired. If she can't pay for the damages, we'll proceed according to the law." After that, I blocked everyone connected to Mary. I thought she'd spend a few days in the detention center. But to my surprise, I saw her at school the very next day. She was sitting at her desk, red-eyed, watching me walk past. Tom was gently wiping her tears. When he saw me ignoring them, he stood up and said, "George, I know everything. You went too far this time." Apologized to Mary. "I bailed her out last night. Need to transfer the bail money, $10,000. He then shoved a payment code in my face. Mary added sharply, "Tom, don't be too soft on him. I'm willing to forgive him if he pays. Give him the total. He owes you an extra $10,000 for the trouble." Tom looked hopeful, nudging the code closer. I raised an eyebrow and asked, "May I ask what exactly you helped me with?" By now, more classmates had arrived, watching the scene unfold. Mary's face flushed. Then, as if something clicked in her mind, she sneered. "Oh, I get it. You're jealous because Tom's with me now. Too bad. It's normal for a boyfriend to help his girlfriend. What, you expect me to pay to support your ego? You're so calculating. I'll never like you in this lifetime." Tom chimed in with a scowl. "Even if she's with me, she used to be the girl you liked. Shouldn't you be willing to give for someone you once loved? Should transfer the money." The classmates around us began shaking their heads. I leaned back in my chair and calmly said, "I don't like her anymore. The person I like is Lily." I turned to look at Lily, who had just sat down. She stiffened at my words, slowly turning her head to face me. Mary scoffed, shoved her desk forward to widen the gap between us, and muttered under her breath. Even after living through an entire life, she was still so immature. Did she think that kind of attitude was cute? For the next week, Mary completely ignored me, though her eyes always held a mix of grievance and bitterness. Then came the day her monthly living expenses were supposed to be sent. That afternoon, she kept checking her phone restlessly. When school ended, she finally blocked my way at the school gate. Just as she was about to hop in my car like old times, I locked the doors and rolled down the window. "George," she snapped, glaring at me. "My car isn't for just anyone." I said, "Your mother's no longer our housekeeper. We only gave you that allowance out of pity. Now that she's gone, what right do you have to keep asking for money?" Gasps rippled through the small crowd nearby. Mary's face turned red with humiliation. She threw her backpack at me and ran off crying. Tom walked up with a sour expression. "That was too far, George. Look, transfer $100,000 to me. I'll talk. To her, maybe I can calm things down." He tried to flash his payment code again. I told the driver to go. As we drove off, the car rolled right over Mary's backpack. After that day, Mary completely cut ties with me. She started acting out, threatening to end friendships and lashing out at my friends. She humiliated Davidor's mutual friend publicly, multiple times, but he endured it all without a word. One afternoon, David and I were having lunch with Lily in the cafeteria when Mary and Tom came looking for a seat. Not finding one, they came straight to our table. "Move," Mary snapped at Lily. I had recently asked Lily to be my tutor, hoping to support her emotionally during this mess. I glanced at their lunch trays. Mary's had just a basic vegetable dish and a free soup, while Lily's was full of better food I had gotten for her. Seeing that, Mary got angrier. "George, let her go, and we can talk," she said. "Apologize, and I might forgive you." Continued serving Lily. "Come on, eat more, you're too thin." Mary's face twisted with fury and embarrassment. She kicked David. "Move." But David had already seen the truth. He kicked back, stretching his legs. "What makes you think you can order me around?" said. Mary stumbled, spilling the soup all over herself. I watched it all unfold, emotionless but quietly amused. She used to think people respected her, because she deserved it. But really, without me, no one gave her the time of day. Mary was ashamed. Tom looked mortified and quickly dragged her away. As soon as they left, Lily pushed my hand aside. "Enough," she said. "They're gone. You can stop pretending now." Even in May, her hands were ice cold. "How do you know I'm pretending?" I asked. Lily looked down. "I don't deserve you. I'm already thankful, just to help you study." Me harder than I expected. I lost my appetite and walked to the pavilion alone. Yes, I had used Lily to make Mary uncomfortable, but not out of love or jealousy. I just wanted Mary to hurt the way she hurt me. Still, it wasn't fair to Lily. She didn't deserve to be caught in the middle. She must have felt terrible. While I sat lost in thought, I overheard Tom talking nearby. "Mary, why don't you just apologize to George? My mom's medical bills can't wait." "I know it's been unfair to you, but I'll make it up to you," Mary replied. "Tom, don't say that." I didn't know Annie's Mary's 8 million payback Mary's condition. Was serious it was all George's fault. I didn't mind apologizing to him, but I was more worried that Lily might get jealous. "As long as I know I'm in your heart, I'm fine," Lily told me gently. "I'm just worried you'll be wronged. Any grievances you suffer because of George, I'll make sure to pay them back someday," I reassured her. As I watched the two of them standing together in the bamboo forest, I felt like I had swallowed a fly. What was I to them in this drama they were playing out? Luckily, there was less than a month left until the college entrance exams. And that 8 million compensation was enough to give Mary a headache after school, that afternoon after school. Mary once again tried to get into my car. I was waiting for someone and didn't stop her in time, so she squeezed in. "Amy's backpack is at your house. Go get it," she demanded. I pointed to a dog sleeping in a nearby doghouse. "Your backpack is over there." Mary took a deep breath, crossed her legs, and reached for some fruit in the car just as Lily approached. For some reason, I started feeling nervous. I didn't want Lily to see me with Mary. Mary's demands. "What exactly do you want, George?" Mary asked coldly. "I've thought it through. I can forgive you. But you have to take responsibility for Tom's mother's medical expenses and for that vase you broke. I suffered at the police station, and you even made me pay for it." She stared me down. "If you give me 10 million, I'll forget everything." The more I listened, the more speechless I became. Lily was nearly here. I kicked Mary out of the car and told the driver to take it to the front gate. "George, I'm really angry, and I will make you regret this," she screamed as she left. I helped Lily into the car and took her backpack. "The exam's almost here. You'll have to work hard." Studying in scores after so many years in society, I'd nearly forgotten everything I learned in high school. But with Lily tutoring me, I picked things up quickly. My scores had reached 600 points. In my previous life, I had scored 650 while Mary and Tom only managed 560. worried they might end up in the same college again. I had applied to the same school. Studying hadn't helped much in my past life, but the knowledge from that time was enough to climb the corporate ladder. Still, who wouldn't want a better degree? As I studied hard, Mary focused on getting back at me. She grew more blatant in showing off her affection for Tom in front of me. Multimedia message on the eve of the college entrance exam. She sent me a multimedia message. I will belong to Tom forever in this life. Attached was an image of a shabby motel room, U-load sheets, outdated decor, the kind of place that costs just a few bucks a night. Mary, you dare? She replied instantly. You forced me. I didn't reply. The exam and the $8 million. The exam went smoothly. Time had come. Mary's repayment was due. They'd promised to pay after the college entrance exam. I wanted to see how they'd handle it. If they hadn't squandered the living expenses my family gave her, she should have saved at least $2 million. Her mother had a decent salary. If the family pitched in, they could have gathered $3 million. When I went to collect, Mary still held her head high. Give him the money, she said flatly. $8 million, I reminded them. But we don't have $8 million, her mother said, flustered. But the house is going to be demolished soon, right? Compensation should be a lot. Let's sell the house. She pulled the family aside. Don't worry, George is just bluffing. I know him. He'll cave first. Her family finally agreed to sell to her uncle for $5 million. They promised to buy it back for $8 million later. If not, the demolition payout would go to the uncle. I happily accepted the money and took a last glance at the dilapidated house. In my previous life, I had invested heavily to develop this area, broke even but didn't bring much profit. Lily disappears. Wanted to celebrate with David and Lily, but when I arrived at Lily's house, it was empty. She had left me a letter. Thank you for that day. I'll repay you when I can. Just like that, she vanished. I searched everywhere. I've been asked her teachers about her college but found nothing. I'd felt completely empty. A new life to get rid of the ache. I used the $8 million to start a business. Summer vacation ended and Mary appeared again. Thin, disheveled, nothing like the glamorous Mrs. George from before. Only her sarcastic, arrogant look remained. I'm pregnant with Tom's child. Do you regret it? She smirked. I frowned. I was ashamed to have once liked someone like her. Regret is useless. I'll give birth to his child, then marry you, Make. You watch me raise it. It's what you owe him from your past life. She laughed mockingly, thinking she'd hurt me. I messaged property management immediately. When security escorted her out, she screamed hysterically, George, you can't hurt my child. It's Tom's. Even if you love me, you have no right. Even if I die, I'll give birth to his child. If you touch a tile, never forgive you. She clawed and screamed all the way to the gate where she was finally. Dropped off. The security footage showed her muttering, Why did you throw me out? Don't you care about me? Shouldn't George force me to get rid of the baby so we could start over? Her hands shook. Her eyes filled with fear. Tom arrives. Mary. Are you okay? Did George hurt you? Tom asked, panicking. If he dares touch our child, I'll fight him. He didn't do anything, she mumbled. He really didn't. She grabbed Tom desperately. Do you think George has given up on me? Tom furrowed his brow. Have you been inside? Yes, then. Why? Why is he indifferent? They both fell into silence. 2 years later, during her sophomore year, Mary found my contact again. She was furious. Is it you again? Did you force Tom to go abroad? Do you know how much he suffered overseas? George, you're too immature. Fine, I give in. I'll marry you. Just stop targeting Tom. I glanced at the time. This was the same period Tom had gone abroad in my past life, so Mary still thought I loved her. How ridiculous. I'm not interested, Mary, I said calmly, stepping back. You've got nothing to do with me anymore. Stop pretending. Mary narrowed her eyes, unconvinced. Stop lying. If you didn't like me, why haven't you dated anyone else? Why don't you even flirt with other women? She teased, trying to sound playful, but it felt forced. I sighed. 'Cause I do like someone, just not you. I pulled out my phone and opened Lily's profile. She was glowing, confident, radiant, and getting ready for an international exchange program. The once shy, awkward girl I used to know had blossomed into someone incredible. Meanwhile, Mary's situation had been deteriorating. She came to me several times asking if my mom could take care of her child, Tom's child. I had enough. I called the police and reported her for attempting to abandon her child. From then on, she stayed holed up in her rundown house, waiting hopelessly for Tom to return. David told me her family was fed up. They were broke and now burdened with a child. They wanted to send her back to her hometown, but she clung to this, delusion that I'd marry her after college. That lie helped her buy time with her parents, but her life remained harsh, scraping by, running a small roadside stall to raise her child. Then came graduation day. Mary showed up, all dolled up confidently, strolling toward me and my classmates. In our past life, I had proposed to her that same day. A patch of grass was beautifully decorated with flowers and balloons, just like before. Mary spotted it immediately. Misreading the situation, she pouted. Trying to pressure me again? Proposing in front of everyone? Fine, fine. This time, I'll say yes. She started walking toward the proposal setup like she owned it. But just as I was about to step forward, a girl yanked me back. "What are you doing?" "Don't mess up someone else's proposal," she scolded. Mary stumbled and glared at her. "Excuse me?" "I'm the one being proposed to," the girl laughed. "You? That's funny. This is for my sister? She's proposing to the guy she's had a crush on for years?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. From the sea of people, Lily stepped forward. I was stunned. It had been 4 years since I'd last seen her. My throat tightened. My heart thudded. She was even more beautiful than I remembered. Then, in front of everyone, she looked me in the eye, teary but brave. "Would you marry me? Be my other half?" Mary went pale. She lunged forward like she'd lost her mind. "Lily, are you crazy? You think you can marry George? Someone like you?" Lily ignored her. Her gaze didn't leave mine. "I know I'm not good enough," she said. "That's why I've worked so hard these past few years. I built this company. It brings in about 100 million annually now, and there's more to come." She handed me a thick folder. "These are my savings, just 1 billion. No, it's nothing compared to your family's wealth. But I don't want your money." "Just want you?" The crowd was stunned. Mary looked like she'd been hit by a truck. Her jaw dropped at the mention of 1 billion. She tried to snatch the ring from Lily's hand and shoved it toward me. "George, I accept. Let's get married." "Come on, let's go home." I gently pushed her aside and took Lily into my arms. "I'm willing," I whispered to Lily. Mary's voice trembled. "George, you're doing this to spite me. You still love me. You're just pretending." The whispers started. People began to judge us harshly. Is he the one who dumped his crying ex like that? What a heartless jerk. I turned to Mary. "Stop. Don't make this about you. You're just classmates." "Sure, I once liked you, but when you chose Tom, I walked away. You had a child with him. I moved on. Why can't you?" I took Lily's hand, and we walked off together, leaving Mary behind, stunned and speechless. Later, someone posted the whole proposal online. It exploded. Our identities were exposed. People called Lily and me a power couple while mocking Mary as someone who tried to grab the swan while being a toad. Honestly, I felt relief. It was like waking up from a nightmare. Then, I used a fake account to send Lily words of encouragement while she studied abroad. She told me later she always knew it was me. She had left me years ago not because she stopped loving me, but because she didn't feel worthy. She never wanted to tie me down, nor did she want me to fight with my family for her. When I introduced her to my mother, Mom cried and laughed at the same time. "You've suffered so much, my girl. We don't care about money. We care that you're kind." Lily and I got married. We had twins. Life was simple and beautiful. As for Mary, I heard she nearly lost her mind when she found out I was married. Her family lashed out at her for everything she'd done and forced her to apologize. But I refused. We lived in different worlds now. Eventually, her family married her off to an older bachelor for a hefty dowry. Then came the news headline that shocked me. Local woman arrested for murder. Suspect attempted suicide. It was Mary. Witnesses said she kept muttering something about going back and starting over. In prison, she became a shadow of herself. That once proud girl, dreaming of being Mrs. George, was now lost in a cold metal cell. She'd cry out in the middle of the night, reliving a past that never truly existed. Her reality shattered. She thought she had everything once, but she only ever wanted the title. And by the time she realized what true love meant, it was far too late.